There's been yet another delay in the life Esidimeni inquest. Former Gauteng Health MEC Esidimeni was expected to appear today, but her legal team was granted a postponement until May the 2nd. The issue has to do with the lack of payment for her legal services by the State Attorney's Office. Let's get the view now of one of the people who lost a loved one in the life Esidimeni tragedy when people with special needs were basically moved from ill-equipped NGOs by the Gauteng Health Department under the leadership of the then MEC Mahlangu. Christine Ngumalo joining us tonight. Christine, a very good evening to you. You've been one of the people who've been fighting for justice as far as this whole process is concerned. Another delay today. How do you feel about it?
Good evening, and thank you for having me. To be honest with you, the families are incredibly angry. They are angry, they are frustrated, and they think, and they actually believe that, justice is not fair, the way things are happening at the moment.
Why do you believe it's unfair? Because the argument put forward is that the former MEC, basically, it's not of her own doing that the monies for the legal team have not been paid, and then they're now waiting for the state attorney to make that right.
One of the lawyers representing one of the NGOs asked a very interesting question. Why can't these processes run parallel? Why can't the payment and the money processes be done in the background while everything moves forward? Why do we have to deal with one issue, and then wait the other issue out? That's not fair. They knew that they were going to be appearing on the 11th. Why couldn't they have attended to this matter before? Why are we as families meant to wait, and the public in general?
Mm-hmm. And it comes at a crucial time, does it not, when Esidimeni Mahlangu, who was in charge of the health department, was expected basically to face questions about her involvement, and some of you among the families have felt that basically to date what has been found even after the inquiry has not been sufficient as far as basically dealing with her or her facing any consequences for what happened.
Look, we've been dealing with postponement after postponement, and we're not really getting any answers, and also every time why the postponements have to happen, every time when somebody has to answer. I think that for us is a frustrating part, but on top of what everybody else seems to be overlooking, is that how is it that the state attorney is still paying for their legal representation? That's the part that just blows our mind as families. I could go into so many different avenues relating to them being paid, the legal fees being paid by the state attorney, but it's just weird. It's strange. I mean, they're no longer in the employ of the state. So why are the state attorneys paying?
Do you feel, Christine, as the families, that with every postponement, your shot at justice and the full truth, if there are still any outstanding factors or questions for you, is slipping away?
With every day that we don't get answers, we move further and further away from the truth. And I think they know it, and that is the game that they have been playing from the get-go. The fact that we have an inquest. The fact that we have an inquest, we believe as families, is a miracle, because we asked for the inquest when the tragedy actually took place. But nobody listened to us. I'm not going to lie, but we are incredibly angry. I mean, one of the family members who had a stroke at the time when this event, when the tragedy happened, yesterday came very close to another stroke from the news of actually being told that there's another postponement. And the question was, what did our families do to the state that is so bad that the state cannot just do the right thing now, at least in their death?
And if there is, there's an assurance today that the legal issues around the money for Esidimeni Mahlangu will be sorted out by the end of this month, basically. If that is not done, what will it do, especially for the suffering of people such as yourself and this relative who you say has already suffered such poor health as a result of the stress and trauma in the subsequent years?
Look, is anybody even taking into consideration? Our legal representative from Section 27 actually said that the families are aggrieved, they are tired, they are exhausted. Some of them are getting sick, some of them are dying, some of them are not seeing. I mean, we're not getting anywhere closer to the end of this process. Some of us are suffering from anxiety because we're constantly waiting to hear the truth. And some of us are just being tortured because we work for the state. You know? So these things don't just disappear and life goes on. I am a victim of this treatment that I'm getting from the state. I could tell you stories about the things that are happening offline that no one seems to want to talk about. And every time we ask, why another postponement? We are looked at like we are crazy.
And is there anything that has been happening offline that you would like or be comfortable to share with us tonight?
I've been treated like a whistleblower. I have been a victim of the state's machinery when they work against you when you stand up and speak the truth. I have been a victim. You know, I'm so angry you don't understand. And the families have been victims as well. Just from every single postponement. Did you hear the monies that they are paying for the state, by the state attorneys? I'm still in shock after listening to the inquest this morning. I can't even believe I'm so angry. I'm so frustrated. I promised myself that I wasn't going to get emotional, but it's very hard not to. It really is.
It's understandable, ma'am, because for those who don't know, your sister was among the people who were moved from an equipped Life Esidimeni facility to one of these NGOs and treated quite poorly to the point where she actually lost her life.
Yeah, she was starved to death and she had gangrene in both her feet. She literally had no water in her entire body. She was left to die. She was left to die on her own, and then a year later her daughter died from the pain of hearing all these traumatic stories. This has not been fun. It has not been fun on any level. It's horrible. When do the families matter? Is it because we've been paid the award by Moseneke that everything should be fine with us now? It's far from it. It really is far from it.
What would settle this for you in your mind and in your heart?
People going to jail and be held accountable. South Africa needs to learn how to hold people accountable, especially the politicians. Why is it that politicians are not people who do the wrong things and belong in jail if they have done wrong? It needs to stop. People's lives matter. People with mental illness are vulnerable people. They should be taken care of, not treated like dogs and left to die in the cold.
Christine Ngumalo, thank you so much for speaking to us tonight, ma'am. Thank you.